It's just because if you have seen recently, I modified the permissions of this particular host file, that we are removing the read permission also, so that I can't even read it. So you can actually execute it. Being a user, you can do all the things which root user can do by mentioning this sudo, which has a abbreviation like super user do, so that you are telling to the system to do something which super user does. In general, I have already used this command, so it's not showing me. But in general, if you sudo in general, if I execute this command, it will be asking for my user password. So you need to enter it. Then only you can be able to access this particular file. So coming back to this one. So this is what about permissions and etc. So you can even change the date, time, everything. So let's move further towards more commands. I have been using this utility called Vim since start of this class. So let me tell about this. In GUI for Windows, you'll be having a notepad, and in Linux you can have some similar replacements for notepad. But while coming to command line interface, you will be having two utilities called Vim and Nano. So coming to this Vim and Nano, Vim also have a like parent version called Vi, which is little bit modified and called as Vim. So you can even use Vi, and you can at present, if you see, there is something called notes.txt, but there is nothing called notes1.txt. So we can use this Vim command and so when you are executing this Vim command to a file which is not present in that particular directory, then this Vim command would be creating it. So let me do some changes and save it. Then if you see, you can even find this notes1.txt. So it is just creating it and talking more about Vim. When you open a Vim, you are able to see this kind of interface. Just press I or insert. In some keyboards, you will be having a button called insert. So if you press it, you will be moving into a insert mode. So in Vim, actually, you have to change the modes so that you can do some operations. Like if you want to, there is already some text, and you are newly opening that text file, and you can't actually change any text just by opening file by using backspace. You need to move yourself into insert mode, and then if you use backspace, you can be doing some modifications. You'll be able to do some modifications, and then to go back to the command line interface, by saving these changes you have done, you have to press Escape Shift ZZ. So if you press it, then you can navigate yourself to like back. If you press this, then you will be actually going back. And suppose if you want to go back without doing any changes, then simply you have done some changes, and then you press Escape, and then see the text which are being appear in the bottom line. You have to type those text after pressing Escape. This dot, two dots, Q, and this straight line, so that you will be going back. This is the way you use Vim, a brief way. And coming to another editor, Nano. There is no file called notes, right? So even this Nano is also like able to create a files if it doesn't exist. So you will be actually running it. you will get this particular interface. You can do some changes. Simply like in Windows, after doing some changes in Notepad, you press Ctrl S, right, to save the file. So even here, you can press Ctrl S. So you can see a message kind of thing in the bottom, wrote one line. So it means it's saved, and then you can press Ctrl X so that it will be. You can go back to the previous terminal. And let me tell you one thing. There are some additional options here. You can even use this based on your requirement. This power, when you press Shift 6, you will be actually getting this power thing. But you shouldn't use this here. You should press Control and the alphabet which it shows. Control and O. Then it will be asking for another command. Control and C, like I am cancelling it. Control and X, like I'm exiting, like it has shown, right? Control and X. So you should press Control. Even when some command is been executed and you want to stop, you have to press Control C so that it will be terminated in between. And this is about modifying files using text editors. And you even have another tool called Touch. Like you just want to create a file which has nothing in it, so you can use this command, touch7.txt. So it actually creates some file. Here you can see it actually creates a file. Simply, it has no data in it, so you can actually do some changes if you want later. And see, I have made this much mess. Suppose you want to remove all this, so you can actually do this particular stuff. There's a command called rm, remove, it means. So you can use this one and you can mention so it will be, this file will be removed, so you are not able to see. Similarly, let me tell you this one. To create a file, you are using this touch, or to create and edit this file, you are using some text editors. To create a directory, there is another command called mkdir. You use this particular command to create a directory. So you mention it and you mention the folder name. Be cautious that you are not mentioning the same folder name, like which are already present here. Suppose you created some file, some folder, and you can see it here. And you have done some changes. And let me tell you another thing. Since I have created this folder, there is some file here. So I want to move this one to some other folder. So there is a command called move. Move notes1 dot. So you can actually see, you can now not find notes1.txt because it is actually moved to this folder. It is like we represent it with mv, move command. So if you check it, oh, okay. See, if you check it, you can see this file is moved. So there is even let me make another kind of file, another kind of directory, g1. So now there are two folders which we have made, and now we want to remove it. So we can use this rmdir. So for removing a file, we just use rm, and for removing a directory, we'll be using rmdir. So we'll be mentioning it, and let us mention, for an instance, the folder name G. So you can get an error message called directory is not empty. So just remember this one. You can use this command only when the folder is empty. So so you can actually use this command for removing this empty folders. This is about RMDIR, removing directory, and coming about. Let me show you. There is some file. Let us see what is there in this. So there is a lot of text here. So, but you wanted to see only the last 5 lines or last 10 lines. Then you can be using this one. Tail. So using this particular command called tail, you will be able to see only the last few lines of this particular file. And similarly, there is another command called head. Using this, you can see the top 10 lines using this command. This is about the basic commands.
Okay, Nanishwar.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Okay, so we will continue again. Let me show some more things related to Linux to them. Okay, so I'm streaming now. My screen is visible. Hello, is my screen visible?
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, Gnaneshwar gave a small brief about Linux on command line. Suppose you have this Parrot OS, then you can visit and open this command line on terminal here, and then you can start whatever you like. So you can again visit those recorded these whatever Gnaneshwar told on recorded video. I'm going to show some of the things like what he showed like in file system. In Windows, you know all about like there is desktop and downloads and all this stuff. In Linux, there is some similarity, but not at all. In the main file system, there are these things: bin, boot, dev, and these things. And beside this, there is home directory. This one, and here my user, and then all the things like documents download and everything. So that thing is accessible on actually terminal, which Gnaneshwar told, and he gave us a brief about some basic commands. You can visit them later. And here we got email and we got password. Also we got these details, user agent and whatever else. Also you can get their locations too with this tool. So not just this tool, it's not only this way, you can have your own way. There are but hacking is not limited to just hacking FB and WhatsApp or Insta. Actually, it is related to more things like web pen testing and all. And so there are some tools also, like you can do SMS bombing, and these are for fun. This is not done in real hacking. You have to get some basics about them. You have to learn how to use command line, like Gnaneshwar told, like you can use cat to read files. Suppose I have a file like what I should show, like I have a file word list 2, so I want to read that file. So cat word list file. So this is my file. You can even open it in your text editor also. So that's a difference between a GUI version and command line. Generally we don't use GUI because it's not available every time, and we have to use command line only. Sometimes we have to code and we have to execute our own malicious things, or we have to inspect these things. There are a lot of command. Learn those basics commands, whatever we have discussed right now, uh, and learn about these file systems initially, which Nanisha told. Later we will be going to discuss about what we say, bash scripting. uh, in terminal, actually, we know there is a like bash which you can see in here. There are types like pinbash or zsh. These are shell actually. So we should know how to make a automation using bash scripting. You can automate this full task. Like I have automated, you can see this word list actually, what it's going on. I have taken a word flesh and then 6, and then I am changing constantly t u v w x y z a b c d. You can see that. So this can be done through either Python scripting or bash scripting. In next session, we are going to discuss about bash scripting and some tools like Wireshark and Netcat. So come prepared, we will discuss about that. Initially you have a task, like what you have to do after this meeting. You have to uh, go to our page and you can see these files. You can either download Kali Linux or Parrot Security, and you can see about these tools, what they do. And also in this chat, okay, what was that git command? You can actually, this git command is actually, there are a lot of codes and everywhere you can see these codes are available on GitHub. Make an account here and make an account, and you can see those repositories like see this is our website repository. You can see how we have made these animations and all. So visit in your mobile once, and here we can store all the things on GitHub. So just like SciPsec and ITW, there are many developers which stores their tools, codes and everything, and their scripts. So just like that, there is a hidden eye tool from DarkSec developers, and we have to use some basic git commands to copy those whole codes and whole file. We can use git clone, and then that repo will come to our PC locally, and it will be available to us. You can visit those files. Otherwise, you can't use that tool. Also, like you should do try hack me, and if you have any doubt, you can ask right now by unmuting yourself.
Can we have Linux and Windows both are on our system?
Yes, you can keep it on both. Like either you can do it by dual mode, dual boot, or either you can do it on like a virtual machine. There are these tools, VMware or VBox, VirtualBox. Actually, VBox is fine. You can just download this thing and just here is the thing. Like I will show you. Yeah, this thing, just load it here, and you will like how to create this thing. You just name it something and like demo, and then give it some RAM. If you have 8 GB RAM, then keep it like give it 2 GB RAM or something. Don't give much RAMs, otherwise your main host PC will not work properly. And like you have to create it, and then in settings you have, in storage you have to mention that file, choose a disk file and mention that ISO file which you have downloaded. You will download when you got that Kali Linux or Parrot website. We have also launched our own Synux security. You can test that also, but it's not recommended to you because you are newcomers. So try it on just Kali or Parrot.
So after downloading Tally or Parrot, I'll just download VirtualBox and have both on my system,
Yeah, you can
right?
run it on, yeah, parallelly. Like I am running currently Mac here, and then there is one more thing running Parrot this here in VirtualBox. This is completely isolated. Yeah, I can transfer those files by some means, like, but they are completely different. You can't just visit those files what it's there in. Anyone else?
So what should we download, Parrot or Linux?
Linux is a basic, like, like Windows is a OS, like a company, and there are some distros like Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 8, right?
Yes.
So similarly, Linux has some architectures like Arch Linux, Debian, or Red Hat, or so you can get that. And some popular pen testing distributions are Kali Linux or Parrot. So you can, it's your choice. Kali Linux is also new and one of the most popular OS distro. Or Parrot is also popular. You can customize them both, and it's your choice. You can download anyone.
Okay, and for tutorials, we have to go for Try Hack Me, right?
It's like practicing.
But for practicing, we need to learn first. So where do we learn?
Actually, you can go for over-the-wire bandit where you can try all these Linux commands. There will be challenges. So if you can complete those challenges, you will be easily able to do it from Try Hack Me.
So to solve those challenges, I have to learn first, right?
Actually, what we told today, like we introduced you to Linux.
Yes.
Some basic commands, you know, right? Like you have to use cd command, when you have to use cat command. You can visit Google and you can search these things also, like basic Unix command, basic Linux command. You will get a list. So just try this thing on Try Hack Me practice. You can practice it on Try Hack Me Labs, and that's enough. We will mention more things in later meetings, but you have to practice it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else who wants to ask?
Hi, Akash.
Yes.
Yeah, I have small doubts. When we did LSL with Blagel, there were permissions for 3 members, right?
Yes.
What is the first one, second one, third one? Can you explain? First one, it is root. Second one.
Actually, these are read, write, and these are combos. Like you can check this on. There are some basic things.
Okay, that I am asking about users who can. First one is for who, second one is for who.
Didn't get you.
Means first read, write, X.
Bro, like the first pair is for root user.
Okay, that's one I am asking.
Second one is for user. Third one is for others.
Others means are they not users?
No, bro. Like in general, suppose in general you are hacking a system. So in a system you will be having many users. Some users like come under daemons. They are not actual users. So those will be having other user permissions. They can't do things which users and root can do.
Okay, I got you what you are saying. Like, see here, etc. Pass. Here you can see. So they are currently these things also running as a user, like what he's mentioning, others. Here, this is root as me user,
Okay.
and I can execute these shells. And then there are others also, like SSH, or what they can access, daemons, and then there is root. Okay.
Okay. And next thing is you ran something like this try once you run on the local server, right?
Yeah, you can try it on ngrok or Servio also. ngrok will tunnel it. Actually, like, you can't access, there is a like a public and private IP, right? Currently my IP address is, you can see this by this command, if config,
If config.
and I am, if this list is used, you can directly grab it also. Like, I know my IP will start from 192.168. So yeah, this is my private IP address now, and
Okay.
I have a public IP address also, which is used for, like, if I can access that IP address, like I can,
Gateway.
yes,
It will act as gateway.
then only my files and my web page will work on them. Otherwise, it won't work. So either you should be present in on the same network, and then you hack your victims, or either you can tunnel it to some to outside, which ngrok does.
One thing, other thing is IP address is used to identify a system, right?
Yes.
And what is that port will do? What it will mean? Port means separately.
Like, there are different services running. Like, suppose there is something like you can access a PC through SSH remotely, and you can just log in and you can do all the stuff. So suppose this IP address is this, and now see, in my Mac terminal I will be doing SSH. Okay, I have to start SSH server. Wait a minute. Haven't started SSH server, so I will start. On 444. Then wait a second. I have some issues. I am having some issues in my SSH right now. So actually what it does, it will open a port on that server, and then we can directly use it for remote administrating purposes. Similarly, you can use Netcat also, like,
We have to remember that. Shit. It's actually happening. I'm talking to an imaginary person.
So, Bhaiya, we can do this to my iPad also.
Tell you it's top secret.
yes, you can do. And then actually how to access, like, generally these, all the website and all these are accessible on 80 port or 443 port. 80 is for HTTP and 443 is for HTTPS. So if you are mentioning another port, then you can't access that website. Similarly, sometimes Python server is accessible on 8,000 only, like C. Python 3 minus 10. I started port on 8 this service on 8,000. Now suppose my IP was, what was my IP? 192.108. Okay, so see, I can see this thing. It's not running on this only IP. Like I have to mention that port, and then I can get directly HTML. So I can access whole file system, file structure. And on my 80 port, actually Apache 2 is running. So on different port, I can run different services, and that's the point.
Okay,
What's the
those
port?
services for
What?
those services are for what?
Like suppose I want to run a web application or some SSH service or some like FTP protocol, like or some mailing purposes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So should I do this to my iPad or just do it on my laptop?
What this? What do
I
you mean by?
I mean to say, like, should I install that on my iPad also, or just do it on my laptop?
It will work on laptop mostly. Like you have to do so much things. It will need some RAM and some.
Okay, I got it. Can we leave now?
Yeah, you can leave, or if you have any doubt, you can ask anyone else.
I've just downloaded Kali Linux and the VirtualBox. I'll just watch a YouTube video to how to install them and all.
Yeah, you can see that thing. In next meetings, we will be discussing about Bash scripting and tools. We will start real
So
hacking
when will be the next meeting?
tomorrow.
Just tomorrow. Okay.
Why only Kali? Why can't we Windows control command?
We can use Windows also. Like it's not a problem, but generally either those tools are not like synchronized, or it will be easier actually in Kali to understand these things. Also, like we are not doing like you know what, most of the web servers and all the things in corporate world and companies, these works on Linux only, and in Windows you might get some problem on PowerShell or CMD, so it's not recommended to use. Also, it's not recommended to use it on your host machine, because if something bad happens, then you may lost your whole drive, so it's not recommended. Other option beside VirtualBox and Dual Boot is a subsystem. You can download a subsystem and install it. And there's one more option. You can directly live, like you can flash it on your USB pen drive, and then whenever you want to use Kali, then just plug it and then use. You can see a YouTube video about how to make a persistence encrypted persistence flash USB, live USB, or either you can just boot it live USB, but data won't save on live USB. If you want that data to be saved, you have to make it persistence encrypted.
While using Kali, why it drains battery?
What? I didn't get you.
While using Ubuntu, why it drains battery? Means why charging will drastically decrease?
That's not like either.
Actually, I own a gaming laptop, so my laptop is always plugged in, so I won't be facing this type of issue, right?
Bro, it's not because of operating system. Like it might be because of your high brightness or something. You need to change those configurations. And Ubuntu is one of the lightest thing when compared to Windows, so definitely it will give a better performance.
Is it depends on how much RAM we give?
Yes, yes. Like when you compare two operating systems power consumption, one of the affecting factor is RAM. How much RAM it consumes. Ubuntu takes 1 GB at most, whereas Windows takes 4 GB comparatively.
What I'm about to tell you is top secret. A conspiracy bigger than all of us. Was it powerful?
But yeah, I have downloaded VirtualBox and Kali Linux. Can you share a YouTube video on the WhatsApp
I'm
group
talking
how
about the
to
guy
install
who
them?
knows about the guys that are invisible.
Okay, bro.
Okay, we can share.
The top 1%
Also,
Thank you.
come prepared tomorrow.
competitive
Like
without permission.
we have to cover some things important.
Hi. Where can I access the recordings from?
What? I didn't get you.
Where can I access these recordings from?
Okay,
the
okay.
Google Meet room?
Maybe YouTube. We will launch it on YouTube.
Could you give us a link or something, or will it come on Discord itself?
Yes, you can subscribe also our YouTube channel. When it's available, you will get the ping.
So for tomorrow, we just have to install the Linux, right? Thank you, Bhaiya. I'll just leave the group.
You have to do those THM machines actually after
What?
installing. After installing Linux, you have to do those THM machines, which is shared in chat box, and then
Actually, yes, I just got a YouTube link and I'll install the Linux. Are you telling me to do something beyond that?
Yes, we have shared here some try hack me modules and machines.
Okay,
So,
yes. I mean,
so you can check this and come prepared about tomorrow meeting. Either you can visit those topics which we are gonna discuss tomorrow, like Bash scripting and Netcat Wireshark.
okay. Is there anything else that you wanna tell us?
No,
Thank you, Bhaiya.
just question and answer. If anyone has doubt, you can ask, or either you can.
Is dual booting safe? Because will I find any difficulties if I dual boot? Because I used to dual boot another system, but
You may get some problem on Grub if you are not careful. So I guess you have to be careful if you are dual booting. I recommend you to do it on VirtualBox, or subsystem is also fine.
In Kali or Parrot, commands are same.
Yes, these are Linux only.
Whether you built one OS, no?
Yes, yes.
How did you did?
Actually, we used Arc kernel, and then we have like we have compiled some packages also. We were working from some months, and then we have launched it.
How it differs from Kali and Parrot?
These are on Debian, actually Debian architecture, and ours is on Arch Linux. Arch Linux generally don't come in like they have direct installation medium. They are generally tough, and we are trying to provide easier installation medium. Also, it has a support of AUR. You can say it's a good thing. Like generally, if a tool popular tools come in GitHub, this repository gets updated, and you can just download it.